Hello, my name is David L. and I'm the author of You Are Gods. It's available at Amazon.com as either a digital download or hard copy. The easiest way to get your copy is to do an author search by my name, David. My last name is spelled E-H-L, and you can order your copy at Amazon.com today. In today's video, we're going to be continuing in our series talking about the process of getting your prayers answered. In the previous video, we talked about vague, generic prayers resulting in vague, generic answers. If you want specific results, you have to pray specific prayers. Be precise. Know what it is you would like to receive and pray that. A change of a word or two or thought, feeling, or emotion about it can have a huge impact on the result that you receive. Be specific. But there's another hidden gem that I didn't understand for many, many years. You see, I grew up in church and I'd been told that prayer was simply talking to God. But it turns out there's a whole lot more to it. And part of it is sending out a clear signal, but there's another thing that it's like a radio. It's one thing for a radio station to send out a clear signal, but it's another thing they have to send out a very, very strong signal for you to receive it. When you get in an area that has a very, very weak signal, you're going to get a lot of static. And your prayers are like that. You need to send out a strong signal. Well, how do you do that? What is the carrier wave? That's a terminology from radio. What's the carrier wave that carries my signal? Well, in the case of prayer, it's emotion. A strong emotion will carry your prayer much, much more powerfully. And so to pray powerfully, you have to use strong emotion. But there are two types of emotion. And we're going to go back to the car analogy we've used previously in other videos. And that is, to send out a clear signal, you are using the steering wheel. That's like saying, okay, this is the destination I want to go to. This is what I want to receive. And so you can turn the steering wheel all you want, but until you step on the pedal, the gas pedal, you're not going to go anywhere. You have to do both. So positive emotions are like the gas pedal, but negative emotions are like the brake. And the stronger the signal, the more powerfully you're stepping on the pedal, whichever one that is. So if you really want to go somewhere and you really want to go fast, what you really need to do is to step on the gas pedal. Positive emotion. The stronger the positive emotion you can send out, the better. The more powerfully that your signal will be received. And there's a little nuance to this that eluded me for many, many years. And it's part of what makes this such a simple process and gave me the aha, because I thought about it and I said, oh my goodness, God doesn't have to judge my prayers. The signal that I'm sending out, whether it's loving and kind or angry and resentful, automatically takes care of whether or not that prayer is answered quickly and easily and effortlessly. If I'm sending out a loving and kind signal, if I'm happy, if I'm thinking of others, if I'm living in joy and gratitude and forgiveness, I'm sending out a very, very strong, powerful signal. But if I'm angry and resentful, and I'm sending out all these emotions and thoughts and feelings, well, that's like stepping on the brake. Well, that prevents all of the negative stuff from happening. It takes a whole lot more negative emotion to produce a result than it does a powerful, loving, kind emotion. Love has enormous results. And so it's kind of a self-limiting factor built into the system so that God doesn't have to judge us. Our emotions really are what do all of the judging. And in fact, when you get into near-death experiences, they talk about the life review. And the only person who's ever going to judge you is you. But it was fascinating because I found that there was one fundamental question that absolutely everybody asked themselves in their life review. What was that one question? Was I loving and kind? Was I loving to other people? It's the only thing that you're really going to care about when you do your life review. And it's not God asking you this. It's not some other angel or Jesus or something else. You're really going to be asking yourself, was I loving and kind? Because that's the standard that you fundamentally, deep down inside in your soul, are trying to learn here on this planet, is how to be loving and kind. And so it's built into the system that prayers that are sent out with love, joy, happiness, gratitude get answered very, very quickly. Negative emotions shut down the prayers, shut down the results. And if you think about it, that's a wonderful way of setting up a system so that we do less harm to ourselves than we could otherwise, or to other people. Negative, angry people are not looking out for the best interest of other people. Loving, kind, joyful people are. They're looking out for the best interest, how they can help society at large. So you want to amplify their signal and minimize negative signals. And it's built in that way. And it's like, oh my goodness. So how do I improve the signals I'm sending out? How do I spend more time in joy and love? And that's another key. It's one thing to send out the signal, and at that time you're being loving, joyful, filled with love, caring about other people. But if you don't carry that emotion, then what happens is you stop sending out the signal. So it's not only important to be loving and kind and happy and joyful when you're sending out the signal, when you're telling God, this is what I want, when you have a specific prayer in mind, but it's also, what are you doing all day, every day? How are you feeling? What are you thinking all day, every day? Are you happy 1% of the time, loving and kind, when you're just intentionally praying? Or are you loving and kind all day, every day? And the more you can focus on being loving and kind and forgiving all day, every day, what happens is it sets up a positive reinforcement loop. And suddenly what you discover is you send out these positive signals all day, every day, because remember, it's not just when you're specifically intentionally praying, you're praying all day, every day. You're always praying, you're always sending out a signal. So this process of realizing that, when you become loving and kind and focus on that all day, every day, it will change your results. You will start to see your prayers answered. Now, I had been told for many, many years that, I was supposed to be good. I was, God had expectations of me, and I had to behave or God was going to punish me. Well, it turns out in reading the near-death experiences, that's not really the case. The system is set up so that positive things are reinforced and negative things are minimized. So the question becomes is not, are you trying to get God's approval? Are you trying to be good because that's what's expected of you? It's like, do you want your prayers answered? Do you want a happy, wonderful, joy-filled life? If you do, then start to send out positive emotions. Be loving and kind. It will amaze you in the results. How much, if you can spend time throughout your day focusing on love, forgiveness, joy, and happiness, in between those moments when you're actually intentionally sending out a signal to God, what you will find is that it amplifies the effect. Your prayers will be answered much more quickly. So, going forward in the next couple of episodes, we'll be talking about how to be loving and kind and forgiving. Some things that we can talk about to love and forgive people and to deal with negative emotions, because we all have negative emotions. Things will happen in life that we don't like, and it's a matter of how we deal with it that it enables us to either stay on a positive, happy, joy-filled emotion that will reinforce our prayers, or whether we spiral downward and hit the brake on our prayers and get into negative emotions. And I've done it all. I've been all over the map when it comes to happy emotions and negative emotions, and I know all about stepping on the brake. It's a process to learn to step on the gas pedal and to focus on love, joy, and happiness. And so, hope you've enjoyed today's video, and join us again for the next episode.